In January 1991 at the Delhi Auto Expo, Tata unveiled a car that India had never seen before. It was not a copy of a foreign model. It was not a licensed assembly. It was designed in India, built in India, and it looked like nothing else on the road. They called it the Sierra. It became India's first homegrown SUV, and for a decade it was the car that told the world that Indian engineers could dream big. Then in 2003 it disappeared, not because it was a bad car, but because the market moved on and Tata moved with it. 23 years later the Sierra is back, not with a petrol engine, not with a diesel, with electricity. And what Tata has built this time, starting at 79 lakh, is the most interesting EV launch of 2026. This is everything you need to know. To understand why this car matters, you have to understand what the original Sierra was. It launched on January 18, 1991 at the Delhi Auto Expo. It had a ladder frame chassis, not a monocoque, which made it a proper body-on-frame SUV, not a crossover. 3 doors, fixed alpine triangular rear windows, a silhouette that was completely unlike anything else on Indian roads. It ran in production from 1991 until 2003, 12 years. And then it stopped. The reason, as recorded by both Wikipedia and Go Mechanic, was straightforward. The Sierra lost its appeal due to a relatively higher price tag, a dated 3-door design and low demand. Tata shifted focus to mass-market models. The Indica, the Sumo, and the Sierra quietly disappeared. Here is what matters about that history. The Sierra was not killed by a rival. It was killed by the mass market pulling Tata's attention elsewhere. The idea, an Indian-designed SUV with a distinct identity, was never actually disproved. 23 years is a long time to wait to test an idea again, but that is exactly what Tata has done. The first thing to understand about the new Sierra is that Tata did not just slap the name onto an existing car. Look at it carefully. The overall proportion, the glass house, the stance, is recognizably Sierra, but it is not a retro exercise and it is not a nostalgia product. It is a modern SUV that happens to carry the visual DNA of something from 1991. That is harder to do than it sounds. Retro revivals usually go too far in one direction, either too nostalgic to feel current, or so modern that the original name is just branding. The new Sierra avoids both traps. The dimensions tell their own story. 4,340 mm long, 1,841 wide, 1,751 tall, wheelbase of 2,730 mm. These are proper SUV numbers, not a tall hatchback dressed up as a crossover. Ground clearance is 205 mm, and it comes in 7 colors: Rishikesh Rapids, Nainital Nocturne, Korg Clouds, Pure Grey, Pristine White, Andaman Adventure, and Bengal Rouge. Nainital Nocturne is exclusive to the AWD variant. Now the specifications that actually determine whether you buy this car or not. The Sierra EV comes with 2 battery options. The base battery is 63 kWh. Tata's mid-tested range is 565 km. In the real world, highways, city, air conditioning on, expect 440 to 460 km per charge. The larger option is a 75 kWh pack. Mid-range, 665 km. Real world, 510 to 530 km. To put that in perspective, Delhi to Jaipur is 280 km. Delhi to Agra is 200 km. On the large battery, you could do Delhi to Chandigarh and back, about 500 km total on a single charge. Tata is backing both batteries with a 15-year warranty. They are calling it a lifetime warranty. That is one of the most aggressive battery warranties in the Indian market. Range is only half the equation. The other half is how quickly you can get it back. The Sierra EV supports DC fast charging at 120 kilowatts. At that rate, 20 to 80% in 26 minutes. More usefully, in 50 minutes of fast charging, you add 263 kilometers of range. If you stop for a coffee on a long drive, you leave with 263 additional kilometers. That is the practical number that determines whether this car works for intercity travel. And the answer is yes, it does. For home charging on an AC wall box, overnight charging from empty restores full range by morning. Most Sierra EV owners will never use a fast charger except on road trips. The Sierra EV has a boost mode. In boost mode, the AWD variant does 0 to 100 km per hour in 5.8 seconds. The AWD uses a dual-motor setup. Tata calls it QWD, which stands for Qualified Wheel Drive. Combined torque, 504 Nm. For context, 5.8 seconds to 100 puts the Sierra EV AWD in the same performance bracket as cars that cost significantly more. That figure alone should reframe how you think about this vehicle's price. The car also comes with terrain modes. With 205 mm of ground clearance and all-wheel drive, this is not purely a city car. And this is on the Harrier EV platform, the same underpinnings that Tata already uses for the Harrier EV. The platform has been validated by a vehicle that has been in production and in customer hands. You are not buying into unproven technology. The exterior dimensions of a car tell you how it looks on the road. The interior dimensions tell you whether it works for your family. Boot space 622 liters with all seats in use. Fold the rear seats flat, 1,257 liters. For comparison, the Hyundai Creta EV offers 433 liters. The Sierra EV has nearly 50% more boot space than the Creta EV. Rear legroom 973 mm. Rear headroom 996 mm. Tata claims these are best in segment. The 2,730 mm wheelbase is what makes that rear space possible, and it shows. Now the features, because the cabin is where the variants diverge significantly. The baseline across every Sierra EV is genuinely strong. Alloy wheels, 12, 3-inch touchscreen, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, automatic climate, 6 airbags and all disc brakes. This is not stripped-down entry-level kit. Step up to empowered and the car becomes a different product altogether. Triple screen cabin driver display, 12, 3-inch infotainment and a passenger screen. A 12-speaker JBL soundbar with Dolby Atmos, panoramic sunroof, ventilated and powered seats. V2L and V2V power appliances from the car charge another EV from it. Level 2 ADAS with auto park assist. That is a specification you associate with cars at 30 lakh. Not 22. The Pure S at 19.99 lakh adds the panoramic sunroof over the base. If that is the one feature you are missing from the Pure S closes that gap for just over 1 lakh more. There are 6 variants. Let me walk through each one and what it is actually for. Pure 18.79 lakh, the entry point, 63 kWh battery, everything in the standard feature list, for someone who wants Sierra EV ownership at the lowest possible cost. Pure S 19.99 lakh, panoramic sunroof added over the base Pure. If you want the sunroof and want to stay close to 20 lakh, this is the variant. Adventure 20.99 lakh. This sits between the sunroof-equipped Pure S and the full empowered. The step up if you want more kit before going full premium. Empowered, this is where the car becomes a different product. The triple screen, JBL Dolby Atmos, ventilated seats, V2L, ADAS, all of this arrives at empowered. If you are comparing this car to a Hyundai Creta EV at the top end, the empowered is the relevant comparison. Empowered A, same as empowered, but with the 75 kWh battery, for buyers who want the full specification and the maximum range. Empowered AWD, 25.99 lakh X showroom, dual motor, 504 Nm, 0-100 in 5.8 seconds. Natural nocturne color exclusive to this variant. This is the car for the buyer who wants everything. On-road price for the base variant in Delhi is approximately 19.57 lakh. EMI on the base, assuming 20% down payment and a 9% interest rate over 5 years, approximately 33,200 rupees per month. Over 6 years, approximately 28,900 rupees per month. Deliveries begin July 15, 2026. Before you look at those numbers and stop, factor in the government support that exists right now for EV buyers. Delhi's EV policy, effective from July 1 this year, 100% road tax waiver, 100% registration fee waiver, and up to 1 lakh rupees in scrappage incentive if you are trading in an old vehicle. Maharashtra buyers get up to 1.5 lakh in early bird incentives for the first 1 lakh EV registrations, plus a 100% road tax waiver. Nationally, EVs attract 5% GST against 28% on petrol and diesel vehicles. The GST difference alone is built into the prices you see. The comparison to an equivalent petrol SUV is not straightforward. Let us talk about what this car is competing against, because that context matters. The MG Windsor EV starts at 11.98 lakh. The Tata Nexon EV starts at 12.49 lakh. These are not direct competitors, they are smaller, they offer less range, and they target a different buyer. But they exist if your budget is under 15 lakh and you want an EV. The real competition is the Hyundai Creta EV, which starts at 18.02 lakh. The Sierra EV base is 18.79 lakh, 77,000 rupees more. For that difference you get 50% more boot space, higher ground clearance, longer wheelbase, larger real-world range, and a 15-year battery warranty. The Creta EV has its own advantages: an established service network, brand trust that comes from years of Creta ownership across India, and a broader variant spread at lower price points. Both are serious cars. The Sierra EV is not automatically better, but for specific buyers it makes a strong argument. The buyer who should choose the Creta EV: someone who prioritizes brand familiarity, dealer proximity, and proven after-sales at this price. The buyer who should choose the Sierra EV: someone who needs more space, wants more range, and is comfortable being an early adopter of a relaunched nameplate. The Sierra EV is at 18.79 lakh, genuinely well specified for what it costs. The numbers that matter: 440 to 530 kilometers of real-world range depending on battery, 622 liters of boot space, 205 millimeters of ground clearance, a 15-year battery warranty, DC fast charging that adds 263 kilometers in 50 minutes, all of this under 20 lakh on road in Delhi. The risk to acknowledge: the Sierra name has been dormant for 23 years. Tata's service network is wide, but first-year ownership of a relaunched model always carries some uncertainty. If that uncertainty is a deal-breaker for you, the Creta EV is the safer choice at this price. If it is not, if the specifications, the space, the range, and yes, the fact that you would be driving something with genuine Indian automotive history behind its name, all of that speaks to you, then the Sierra EV at 18.79 lakh is one of the best value EV launches of 2026. If you are seriously considering the Sierra EV and you want to experience it before you commit, that is exactly what Zymo's extended test drive is for. Drive it for up to a week. In your actual city, your actual commute, your actual conditions. The link is in the description. If this helped, subscribe. We cover every major Indian car launch this way. Depth over speed, honest opinions, no promotional gloss. That is the format every time.